Hey there. So I'm going to tell you a story that embodies my vision for this community and what we really can be, and how it will come to be. And this story is a microcosm of what's happening now as we are growing faster and faster as a community right now. So last week we did an open house. It was an open house or an open coach. I can't remember which one it was. They are similar in format. And Chio from Miami, who was on for the first time. She's a part of a wonderful group out of Spain. And while she was on, Natalie from New Mexico, who recently moved here from Germany, she shared a story that was unbelievable. It was a powerful story. Health wise, I'm not going to get into the details. But the next day, Chio reached out to me and said, there's someone I'm working with that Natalie's story might really help. Can you put me in touch with her? And I'm like, of course, So I arranged for Chio and Natalie to have a conversation, and that took place, and it really helped Chio. So why do I tell you this story? Because it embodies exactly what I see and what the premise of this whole thing is about, and that's helping each other and helping others. And I believe, and with every fiber of my being, that we can and will help millions of people in the coming years, and it's going to come from this kind of behavior in this community. So I'm going to give you some insight. So first, neither Natalie or Chio are in my pay line, so to speak. In other words, they are part of the community because everybody's welcome. I believe in helping everybody because I believe in helping. If you help anybody, it helps everybody. And it's the whole global perspective about service. And so I help Natalie because I can and because she asks. And I help Chio because she asks. That's how you do things. If you're capable of helping someone, you do. The one parameter might be, if my day is full of helping people that directly I'm responsible for serving because I am how they got here, they're going to come first because you do have to triage your time a little bit. But most of us have time to help people on a pretty consistent basis. And so these two basically met through our community, even though neither one of them in other kinds of communities, in all kinds of other fields, would never have gotten to meet each other because most people don't play this way. And this is the right way to play. And so here's the next piece. It didn't just help that conversation didn't just help Chio, it helped Chio's person, but it also helped Chio's sponsor and the sponsor of Chio's sponsor and the sponsor of Chio's sponsor, right? That's powerful. And just last week, I was talking to Thalie Hagee, who is in the process of helping Carol Thompson. They're totally unrelated, except that they're in our community. They have no financial remuneration with one another. Kevin Miles, and a few months back, helped Mandy with something. Totally not connected, right? They're not, but they're part of our community, but they have no financial interest in each other. Kelly Millington helped Mark Stelly. No financial interest in each other. John Brown has helped countless people. Doc Welliver, oh my gosh, he's probably helped more people than anyone I know. So why do I tell you this? What do they have in common? The heart to help other people. You see, certainly the platform of our work and the whole philosophy, and really the best way to live life, is to help another person as the means to help yourself. But we have to learn that, right? We have to get to that place first to recognize that that's how it works. I have a magical life. Why? Because I've been living that way for so long. And Why am I here now? Because of the joy that is created from serving and helping others to do better in life. That's just the core belief. And so when you think about what our community is, when you consider all the incredible people that are in our community, the incredible stories that are in our community. When you help another person in our community, you don't just help that person, you help the person that they are touching or the people that they ultimately will touch, and then you help whoever else they're connected to. It's a really cool dynamic. And so the reason I share this is my vision for this community is that we all work together. And again, I understand we don't live in a world that models that behavior. We live in a dog eat dog world. Step on someone else as a means to get to the top. That is unsustainable. And even worse, leads to misery, where this way of being leads to an incredible existence of growth and joy and fulfillment and gratitude and all these other fantastic things that come out of it. And all of you have so much to bring to each other, right? That's the power of this. Our community is full of awesome people. Look, when I say that I would put the people in this community into any company anywhere in the world and they would be instantly massively better, I don't say that to hype you up. I'm not that kind of guy. I say it because it's true. That's what we attract. The people in our community are the best kinds of people you can find. And there's a whole bunch more out there that are going to be coming because we are growing faster and faster. And so if we grasp that impact, that there is a story for everyone in our community. You practically can't find a situation that story is not already in our community, and someone who's willing to share it with you and help you through sharing it. And from your own perspective, if you think about this, again, having to kind of, Mel gives me grief for wearing this, but it's me, that we are cultured not in an environment of helping others, right? Everything about our culture is me, 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 right? And it's the opposite of what's best. That doesn't mean you shouldn't flourish and do well. You should, but you do that by becoming the best person you can be and by helping other people in life. That's how you become the best version of you, using your way of doing that. And so in our community, we have all these wonderful people. Imagine if you're telling your story, the way to create your own community and to grow this community, which helps grow the global Life Plus community, which the bigger we get, the more impact we're going to make, is your story, right? Your unique story, your story. And so obviously you need to be telling your story to your prospects, right? The people that you know and the people that you touch, but you also need to be telling it to their contacts as well as the occasion comes up, right? When you behave in this way, eventually it does. But also you can tell it to each other in the community because it serves each other to exchange stories, and you can serve others in the community by helping them with your story for someone they're trying to help. That's an amazing thing. I get it that doesn't feel normal to you. I would submit a lot of things that feel normal aren't right on our planet. They're not actually what should be normal. What should be normal is being a good daggone human and doing your best to help each other and doing your best to become the best version of yourself, and unapologetically with humility. That's what should be normal. But it's not up to us to make others be different. It's up to us to model the behavior, and spread the goodwill. These open Zooms, right, that we've been doing, which have been, oh my gosh, the last two we had were awesome. I mean, awesome. The stories were fantastic. And so, as with all things from my leadership style, because I'm not a natural leader and I'm not a strategist. It's just not one of my strengths. I'm figuring those kinds of things for support for you and for the community you're trying to grow as we go. And one thing has become quite clear. Those two types of open Zooms, the open house and the open coach, are incredibly powerful. And they're incredibly important. So they will happen on a consistent basis, and they'll toggle between days and evenings to serve different people in the community. You don't have to worry about being on every Zoom. You have a life to live, and you need to be out there living your life and doing the things you need to do and taking care of your family and taking care of yourself while you're sharing the story. But you certainly want to be on one of each every month as you can. Open coaching, obviously, because you need coaching, and I'm not capable of coaching every single person every day in our community. It's not, there isn't enough of me. And the open houses, man, the stories are powerful. From now on, that's all the open house is going to be, stories and Q&A. I mean, I told my story in the last one again, but I probably will not in the future. It will be others telling stories, and maybe, I mean, as the primary piece. It's everybody else's stories that matter most. I mean, I can share a little of my story in any single one, and I'll direct the open houses as long as I have to be the one that directs them. But the open houses are stories and Q&A for people who are trying to figure out, you know, to what level they want to be involved, if at all, or how much farther they want to be involved, right? And open coaches, stories and situations and or directed work, like the work we did in the last one. And it was really, man, it was awesome for everybody. And so that is a place that you can come and hear the other stories and see the other people and learn all the different backgrounds and find the people to connect with, so that you can network together for multiple reasons. The networking that helps with the work, because the more you tell your story, regardless of who you're telling it to, growing the community grows everybody. If you're in action, then a rising tide floats all boats. And this community is just going to get huge because it's such an attractive place to be. And so I encourage you to get to know others in the community and network and share and be on the open houses and the open coaches as you can. Even if you're just dialing in from somewhere, again, you don't have to be on all of them, because I get that, but there needs to be multiple a month to serve the fact that people have different parts of life, so you can make one or the other, right? So anyway, I wanted to share some of the stories. My hat's off to those of you who have openly embraced and understand that that is the ultimate way to build an incredible community of people and make a massive, massive impact. So yeah, that's what I had to share for you today. See you later.